My punchline was going to be, I'd be so proud of her. Okay, we're going to keep this thing moving. Don't forget about Sabrina's mic at McNamara's in Crystal City every Tuesday at 10:15, not 9:30. Okay, our next comic performs in New York and DC. He's a Starstruck comedy regular. Please welcome Merritt Cheo.
Thank you, brother. What's up, Sollys? God damn, we're coming out here. Hopefully we don't all get COVID during. How's everybody doing tonight? I want to go on record saying I'm probably the guy who has the most, at least, Italian name and just the least name overall here. A little secret about me, about my name, my last name, and Walter, you can tell them the truth about this. Spell my last name for me, Walter.
C-E-O.
C-E, freaking O. You have Italian comics coming up today? I can't wait to get this thing here. Jesus, freaking Christ, imagine what they do with the Russian border there. They can't handle that shit. No, but literally, I mean, do I even need like any material from my set other than my name? My name's Merritt, which is French, but I'm Italian descent, just like a couple other comics tonight. And my last name is Italian, but my great-grandfather didn't bring his paperwork, and literally my whole life, I've lived my life CEO. Imagine what the shit I've had to go through in my life. I got an Italian joke for you. You have Jews, Walter, you got Catholics, but I've been religiously confused all my life, because Dad was Catholic, of course, and Mom was Methodist, but did you know lots of Jews actually settled in Italy and Spain, including the very town my great-grandfather lived in, so for a time, my grandmother, her maiden name was Cavelli, and she actually was like, my maiden name might be Yacovelli, we could be Jewish! And I'm like, great, you're on my dad's side, that doesn't matter, but what would that make me? You know, if I couldn't be Jewish, and I definitely don't know if I want to be Catholic sometimes, more than others, but what would that make me technically? I think there's a word for it. Can you think of it? Catholic, might be a Jew, I'm a cashew! Anyway. Everybody gets that one. Or anyway, talk about my French name, for God's sakes. How many men, how many soldiers does it take to defend Paris? Take a number, take a guess. Nobody's gonna guess here?
15.
No, not even close.
420. 420.
No, that's a number I would have guessed, actually. I love that shit. The truth is, I don't know. It's never been done, actually. You can't do it. Anyway, I swear to God, I've had so many experiences with my name. I swear to God, I was working for Congressman. I do fundraising and communications on the side. And I remember I ended up in the hospital at an event, and I ended up in the hospital there, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm getting registered in multiple areas because I won't tell you what event happened there, but it was a cardiac event. And literally, I'm going up there. She's like, the lady has like this Asian look on her face, or she was Asian, and she has this confused look on her face, like, "You're a man?" I'm like, "Yes." "Trans man, or are you a man?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm a man." And I'm starting to get confused a little bit. I'm looking at that bewildered look on her face, and I turn the computer around, and all I see is one word. Women, y'all know about it. You have it every month for a good long time. Pap smear. It turns out my insurance company, because of the way Merritt is spelled, had me down as a woman for that. Yeah, we won't mention that name of that company. Yeah, Killer Death Mente. Yeah, I actually got a cease and desist letter for sending this joke. Apparently someone was in the audience. I don't know where it was. I perform everywhere. And they want me to stop saying this joke about that. It was like literally an hour and a half long discussion between security, the doctor, and the nurse there about my name, and that I was actually born a man, am a man, and apparently I was not a woman, and I don't need to get a pap smear for like 2 hours that night. It was embarrassing. And then a coworker of mine was calling me up and saying, the congressman wants to call and see if you're all right. I'm like, sure. He can call if he sees I'm all right, and tell him that I'm not a damn woman, and then I don't need to get a pap smear. And then I remember a week later, I'm living with my brother, and we're going through the mail. He's like, something for me, something for you, here you go, here's my mail, and oh, Merritt, here's a little handout for you on getting your mammogram. And so I'm literally, like, at that point, I was like, gee, Kaiser, thanks for the mammaries. Oh my gosh. And another incident, I remember in college, 4 times, I had to go to a convention once. I think I told you that story, Walter. 4 times, I'm flying to South Dakota for a project, and literally 4 times I ended up in women's rooms. It becomes just a big debacle there. The first time, we go up and another young lady's like, this is my room. I'm like, no, this is my room. And I go in there and there's 3 other women there in the room and they're playing pillow fight and everything. And I'm like, okay, great. Go back to another room and they're all asleep, but I see, gowns everywhere. And I'm like, okay, this is it. And then the 4th time, I actually wake up, I'm thinking I'm in the clear. I had like 4 hours of sleep that night. And literally, I'm sitting there waking up and I hear the TV. And then all of a sudden I hear the blow dryer. It didn't end badly. It didn't end badly there. I just remember waking up, and it's one of those instances where you have like two people in bed, and I literally just came and plopped in the bed, and you turn around, and you're like, ah! And like we were both doing that, and I just remember I had to call security, and everybody else saying I was put into a woman's room 4 times in a row. It was not very good in my field, though. Now with the last name CEO, oh goodness. Yeah, like I get a lot of bus passes for free when I go to New York for my trips. Yeah, give it up for that. I had this Russian guy, how fitting, this guy was Russian. And he comes up, and I'm like going to the bus there. And I go up there, and he's like, spell your name for me. And I'm like, Merritt, and I have to go through that. He's like, how you spell your last name? I'm like, C-E-O. And he's like, don't you keep going? And I'm like, no. He's like, he looks up at me, you know what he says to me? We have a special seat for you. I'm waiting for the punchline. And I'm like, there is no punchline. Well, there is a punchline without the line, if you'd like to take this further, pal. You know, you have a special seat for me, but I'll have a special little horse for you when we land in New York, and you can take off your big shirt with your Vladimir Putin look-alike chest and pound it all over New York City and Times Square. Anyway, 1 minute, tell the story. Oh my gosh. I remember one time I worked with my dad, and we're traveling all over the place. We're going to San Francisco, and I remember I landed at an airport, and literally 2 Suburbans come up. This is like the weirdest experience I've always had to have. And like they literally had 2 Suburbans there picking me up, and you're like ready to get my luggage. And we're putting my stuff in there, and I was like, I'll take my luggage. He's like, no, we don't do that. We always offer this courtesy for our CEO of our company for cross-country education. Turns out, my name, Merritt Michael Giuseppe, I do have the Italian in me. They put that in there, but then they capitalized CEO. So it goes this far. It's like literally I'm a CEO of a Fortune, maybe not Fortune 500 company, but they're going to take me in a Suburban to the presidential suite at the Ritz-Carlton there in frickin' San Francisco. And my dad's like on a later flight. And I remember I just loved having roast duck and caviar and champagne. The guy was a big James Bond fan. So it turned into a real experience. But I just remember waking up the next day and literally having fun and like having like 4 people come and doing massage and doing my haircut, and then 4-minute suits coming with my dad. And I opened the door, and I'm sitting there in my bathrobe, and the slippers that they have there, and everyone, my dad just has this look on his face. He's like, what the fuck did you do? And I'm sitting there like, sipping on my champagne and everything. I'm like, hey, I'm just enjoying my time, literally being a CEO with Dad. How about you? Anyway, all right, I'm Merritt Cheo, and that's my time. Thank you so much.
Keep it over, Merritt Cheo. Oh, you forgot your, oh my God, this thing weighs like 100 pounds. Wow. I'm gonna do 5